Popeless FX, and you're tuning in. It is roughly 5:30 in the morning, so I started a little bit late today. Girlfriend's doing bodybuilding competition, and so she has to send photos to her coach in the morning, so that's usually why I start a little late some days. She's got her bodybuilding competition in 2.5 weeks. She's stepping on stage. Looking pretty good, pretty peachy. As usual, we're starting with the news, checking out what's happened this week, what's happening today, and what's happening for the rest of the week. So last night we had some poor GDP news for the Australian dollar. Today we have the Canadian Bank of Canada rate decision, and then we have the USD unemployment tomorrow, as well as Canadian unemployment on Friday. So that's sort of the news for the week to pay attention to. Let's get into the trades, and then as per usual at the end we'll go into a little bit of education, so trading or Forex education. Let's see, let's move away from this guy and let's go straight to the top. Let's review the trades that we're in right now. So still the only trade we're in is GBPCHF. He has hit a low of 1.124 roughly. This was sort of the entry we had here. So we had lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, equal lows on this bottom, and then another sort of market structure high here. And as price came up into this level, we took a sell. So that's the only trade we're in right now. We're expecting, the expectancy for it is about a 3-to-1. And we're just letting it play out. Alright, let's get into the actual trades. AUDCAD, we were kind of hoping price was going to continue up to this trend line, but we were hoping for a pullback first, hence this this alarm here. So we're probably going to get rid of that alarm now, because if price pulls back, it's not something we're super interested in. But let's see if we can see anything good happening on the smaller time frame. Again, with price going up the way it is, if it did pull back, we wouldn't be, we could still probably be keen about getting into an entry, but it'd have to pull back pretty sharply, in which case maybe less so. If price had sort of stayed up there, meandered down, and then continued back up, that probably would have been a better signal. AUDCHF, similarly, I think all the Australian pairs are up this morning, it looks like. Yeah, he's reached into this level of market structure, but not super keen on getting in. AUDN, similar thing, continuing higher. Going to be looking for a pullback to get into that. AUDNZD, wow, a lot higher here. Amazing. Okay. Oh man, did I forget to turn on my mic? Oh no, it's on. It's got too many things going on. Anyways. Alright. So he's burgeoning higher and higher. Again, not super keen on getting into a trade. I mean, you could buy a breakout trade right now, but that's not my style of trading. You've got that increased momentum up, pull back into a bit of a retest of the high. Again, not my style of trading, so I'm just not going to go for that. AUDU continues higher as well. Let's see. Lots of room until this more significant level of resistance. So lots of opportunity to go long still. But the market structure, we're in a bit of a wedge right now. we've got sort of these values here. If we could pull up and then back down, I'd be keen on getting in. But I don't really like the market structure that's being displayed there. So I'm gonna stay out. CADCHF, pulling back to this level. Again, don't know if I'm super keen on the market level structure that's being displayed. You're definitely in a bit of a short-term bullish trend. Whether we end up getting a rejection and start to head down will remain to see. But for now, we're staying out. CADJPY. Similarly, nice ascending channel. Would like there to be a bit of a pullback to a appropriate level. Before getting into a long position, but definitely would be biased towards the long here. The long side, not much on the 5-minute, lots of choppy price action. CHF-JPY, pretty similar, getting into this bullish market. Not the prettiest of higher highs and higher lows, so we're gonna be staying out of this guy as well. Euro AUD, yeah, he had a nice precipitous decline. I think similarly we had the little alarm set here in case price came up. We're looking for a sell. I did say he was probably going to move in tandem with AUDCAD. Makes sense, they're both Australian pairs. And since AUDCAD didn't really pull back, Euro AUD never really had a chance to pull back either. And so they're just kind of fizzling. Well, this guy's fizzling down, AUDCAD's fizzling up. Not huge price action movements, but we'll see how those prices change with the release of the Canadian interest rate decision. EURCAD continues to decline. Would like to come back, for price to come back to a level for it to sell, but not much there. 5-minute on EURCHF, also pretty price or choppy. Alright. What do you want? Alright. EURCHF continues in this downward channel. Some pretty choppy price action. There was possibly a good opportunity here. At the 976 level, we had multiple highs. We had these highs double or close to this trending price action. I think what scared me away was originally the price trend was down here, and it looked like this may have been breaking above this level, and so I was a little bit of worry that price was breaking out of the trend. But continues down, but for now we're gonna wait. You know, favorable sells, but not much opportunity right now. EUROJPY continues to trade in this descending triangle. Nice bounce off support here. But for now, we wait until something happens in that triangle, some sort of break and retest. EUROG. This was the trade we were in last week. We were kind of hoping price would continue a little higher for us to get into a good sell. It looks like it's starting to come back down, so we're just gonna ignore it for now. Price is definitely too low. We'll wait for price action to form up. Good break on EURNZD here. Could be some good opportunity to the long side if we get a nice break and retest on here. But again, break and retests aren't necessarily how I trade, especially if they're not in a specific trend line. So we're just gonna leave that guy. EUROU. Nice double bottom and bounce. Well, triple bottom here, here, here. Price is a bit, it's not really in a good trend. Like here it was in a very good downtrend, broke out above and then rejected at these levels and has continued down. We're still waiting for price action to form here before we look to get into anything specific. GBPAUD, trending at this level of support. Not much here unless you want to play just the highs and the lows on the low time frame. So selling at the highs here, buying at the lows. That works well until it doesn't, as per usual. GBPCAD. Again, broke out of this level. Not really seeing much, no trend here. Just some sideways price action. On to the next one. GBPCHF. This is the trade we're already in. We got into a sell at 1.135 right here. GJ. Oof. Good bounce at this level. I would have been worried. I would have taken the buy. Maybe I would have taken the buy here, but it's 1 AM and I don't trade 1 AM because that's when I'm asleep. But this second bounce here, I don't know if I would have been as happy trading it just because of these significantly lower highs. Obviously price is breaking out to the upside now, but it's tough. GBPN. Yeah, this is interesting. So he's the one we're sort of monitoring. He's typically trades daily in between this 2.05 to 1.85, let's say, range between here to here, with some minor exceptions going outside. So we're definitely looking at sells to the downside. This is what happened last time he reached this level, reached his high of around 2.05, broke down, failed to make a greater high, and as he came down, it just melted away. So we're kind of looking to mirror that price action over here. As price comes down, we're looking to fail to make a greater high, and then as we come back down to this 2.04 level, we're looking to get into a sell. Yeah, that's sort of the strategy for him. Doesn't fit my normal strategy, but something I feel pretty strongly about. GU. Interesting break of the trend line here, but he's maintained this trend line right down here, so we could be looking to get into a long position as price continues a little higher here. Where we get into, I don't know. The price action is just a jumbled mess. I'm sure we can find somewhere that feels like it's a good market level of structure as price continues up and then comes back down. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for price to go up and then come back down. NZDCAD. Continuing in this downward price. So he's in this very acute lower time frame downward channel. In this larger time frame, slightly less severe downward channel. We're kind of looking for a reversal play at some point because there's so much upside potential here, but nothing that's... I think ideally what we'd like to see is multiple bottoms here, a break of this high or even this high. So this high here or this high here, continue high, break that high, come back down, and then on the way up, go for an entry. That would be a good possible break and retest. NZDCHF, again, not a lot here. Price is just meandering in these levels. Maybe an opportunity for a sell as price breaks down here. Not super keen on this market structure. It doesn't look the nicest. If price were to break here, there's still so much room for the upside for a stop loss that it's just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Computer's starting to get super laggy, so I'm gonna try to quickly blow through the rest of these. Sorry guys. It's definitely not what you want. Let's see if I can close some applications. If anything, that's making it worse. Not too sure why my computer's so laggy today. Maybe we'll need to clear up some data from it. NZDJPY, obviously on the shorter time frame, just kind of looks like he's in a sideways channel. Not much happening there. NU, similarly, just sideways channel. I think all the NZD pairs are pretty similar. CAD, CHF, JPY, NZD, USD, they're all just in this sort of head and shoulder pattern. Could mean they're going higher, doesn't necessarily mean it. UCAD. It's interesting on the 5 minute. Yeah, kind of looked like it was some sort of descending channel-ish or descending wedge. Yeah. You. All right. Still, even though that little bit of a wedge is forming, I can't say I'm entirely looking to get into a trade there. Just because you notice some sort of pattern or anything doesn't mean it's a guaranteed good trade. USDCHF, this guy's kind of interesting. I think we mentioned he's making these lower highs. So he's at a good level of structure. He's making a bit of a pennant here. Let's take a look on the 5 minute. He's got some equal lows down here, lower highs here. What we'd like is definitely a breakout to the upside. I'd still be bullish on this pair, just because the more recent price action here going with this. But interesting. Alright, so we're just going to leave it for now. Let some price action develop before we get in. USDJPY, similar sort of trend in a bit of a pennant formation. Let's look at our US pairs. US 30 had that nice break above that level where we ended up getting stopped out. US 100, very bullish on all three. Not a lot of market structure forming though that I would like to take advantage of. And then gold. Gold is still trending down. Again, we could probably look for a break and retest at this 1940 level, but that could take till next week. So that's it for today. Literally nothing on the docket, nothing to review. No trades in the pink folders. Let's see. So today's education session will be about FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. It's something that you get when you see trade opportunities unfolding in front of you and you think you have to take them. As per usual, the one best strategy for getting over bad trading habits is time. If every trader got over a bad trading habit instantaneously, well, you would be, I don't know what kind of person you would be, but you would be amazing. You would be that person who just thought they didn't want to eat sugar anymore and just cut out all the sugar in their life. Thought they wanted to go for runs more and just started going for runs more. Like, who does that? Nobody does that. Do you think you're just gonna stop FOMOing? Just all of a sudden you just say, oh man, I shouldn't FOMO anymore and I'm not gonna FOMO? No, of course not. You're gonna take your time. You're gonna continue to FOMO. You're gonna continue to get in trades you shouldn't. And over time, whether it's months, weeks, or years, you're gonna slowly get out of that habit. I'm still in that habit. I still follow that habit. I definitely have a lot of prior trades that are based around that habit in the last couple weeks. But there's a few things you have to pay attention to. One is a couple bad trades can make or break a month. So when you think about risk reward, and you think about some trades, let's just say you were a 3-to-1 risk reward trader. So you're actually losing 4R every trade because you're not making the 3R and you're losing 1R, right? So, you know, you could have missed you could have ended up at negative 2R for the month, had FOMO'd on 2 trades, and that would have put you at least at break even, or with better entries where you didn't FOMO and you actually nailed the trade, you would have ended up at you would have ended up at 6R on the month. So that's a big difference between negative 2R and 6R, especially psychologically. That's the other big thing. Taking these losing trades can have huge psychological detriments to trading. And then what the best sort of mentality you can adopt to it is, again, journaling. Journal, you know, have that hypothetical journal of this would be what my account would look like if I didn't FOMO trade, because this was a FOMO trade. So like, clear, you know, was the trade according to your plan, or was the trade very impulsive? You know, did you make the market data fit your trading style? Or did the market data unfold into what is your strategy? So like, when I look at the market and I say, like, I can look at gold here and I could say, okay, well, my market strategy is I like to trade trends, which means I pretty much like to trade channels, which means I pretty much like to trade higher lows and higher highs, or lower lows and lower highs. Then I like to wait for a retest to a specific level of market structure. This market structure must have been at least previous support 3 times, or previous resistance 3 times, or some combination of that or more. And I must have about 3 trend line touches before I get into this trade. So here's gold. Here's 1 trend line, 2 trend line, 3 trend line, 4 trend line. If price goes down, here, that could be 5 trend line. That's break, so that's a new low. That's 6 trend line. And here we have a level of structure that was support once, twice, thrice, 4, 5 times, and then it's resistance here. So does that match all my criteria? Yes, it does. The only part where this is not, I would say this is slightly invalid, is that the higher low, or the lower high and the lower high here, the lower high and the lower low here, sorry, is a bit disjointed. It's not as beautiful as like boom, 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 like drawn here, like boom, 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 boom. Like it's a bit disjointed. You go here, 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 where you're creating equal lows and equal highs, and then you finally make a new low, and then you make an equal high, not a lower high, and then you make an equal low, and then you make a slightly lower high before you make another equal low and then a lower high. So this isn't like, if this was down here, I'd be a bit more keen. And then this guy goes up here, this guy goes down here, this guy goes up here. That's the only sort of market structure where I'd say, okay, this is much more fitting my style. But I'm not FOMOing into this. I'm not seeing this downward channel and saying I need to get into this. What I'm seeing is this is looking like my setup, but it's not my setup. This is a tornado watch, not a tornado warning. I hope you get that meme. We have all the ingredients of my setup here, but it is not my setup yet. And so that's one of the ways you can sort of, once you know what your setup is, which is why you should know what your setup is, you should be able to write it down in words. This is specifically what my setup is. Very easy one. The 200 EMA and the RSI. I get into a trade when price is above the 200 EMA and oversold on the RSI. Or I get into a trade when price is above the 2 EMA, goes below into the oversold on the RSI, and then I enter the buy as soon as it comes out. Like that's a very, very simple strategy that has very simple rules. And then you can just like, you can adjust your trade and entry losses, or your stop loss and take profit. Like your stop loss can just be the swing low, take profit can be 2 to 3R, whatever it is. That could be your entry rules. So for me, my stop loss is just above the swing high and I aim for 3R. That is my new strategy, 3R. So very simple rules. I have them written out. And that helps me avoid FOMOing into trades that I have no business getting into. So even then, I'm still susceptible to FOMOing. Like I'm FOMOing into GBPNZD right now. Like I'm not in the trade, but you bet your ass that I was trading back here and I had actually lost money to the upside and lost money to the downside, even though I knew price was gonna be, no, I made a little bit of money to the downside. That's not true. Yeah, I think I ended up getting into a sell right around here with the stops at the high. Like right there. But I think I only got like a 1-to-1 or something like that. So I ended up losing a little bit of money to the upside and then made some money to the downside. But I had seen this happening, and for some reason I just didn't play it properly. So I'm trying to play it properly here, even though it's not my strategy. So that's me FOMOing. I'm just trying to be transparent. This is a FOMO trade. Anyways, that's it for today. So if you're suffering from FOMO, remember there will always be another trade in the market, and you're better off not accumulating losers. You gotta limit your losers to let your winners flourish and allow your account to grow. Anyways, thank you for watching the stream. Appreciate it. Hopefully it's not too leggy. It probably is. I'll try to fix that for the next stream. And all right, see ya.